We move into the deep dive segment. Let's go deeper. Kyle, when you first meet a new athlete, you have to train for the Paralympics or the Olympic Games. Kyle, what's the very first thing that you do with them to assess where they're at mindset wise? We talk often about physical strength, emotional strength, but let's really lean into your assessment of where they're at from the mental mindset. Kyle Paquette.
Yeah, it all starts with the goal. It really does. Like the first thing that it's funny, people come see me say, oh, the goal is to win an Olympic gold or a Paralympic gold medal. That's awesome. Great. But why is that? Like really digging into this. And you'd be surprised with some of the reasons that you hear from people. And I think oftentimes what happens is we get into these places, not just athletes, but everyone, we have these goals that get filtered into us through the media, through our society. We all think that we want to be making millions of dollars, so we start to pursue these actions that are going to help us make these millions of dollars. Then all of a sudden one day we wake up and we're feeling shitty about ourselves and we're thinking, what's going on? I'm actually making more money than ever. Yeah, but I'm being a shitty husband, I'm being a shitty father, I'm not spending enough time with my friends. Sure, I'm pursuing this one goal, but this goal must not be as meaningful as the ones that I'm neglecting in the moment. So when you can actually start by sitting down with somebody and saying, why are you actually doing this? Because the one thing I've learned is the worst thing I can do is help somebody achieve the wrong goal, or the goal that's actually not going to create the feeling inside them that they thought it was 2, 3, 4 years ago when we actually first met. So that's a big one. That's a really big one. And most people don't have clarity on that. Most people, again, it's these kind of superficial reasons. Like, why do you want to win? I think it'll be cool. I'll be popular. What do you think popularity will bring to you? Maybe it might bring more money. It might bring a little bit more fame. But what do you think that's going to bring for you? Maybe that might bring me a little bit more security and stability so I can maybe raise and support my family. But why is that important for you? Because it's really important for me to be a really great husband and a really great father, because that's like my number one value in life. Okay, great. So you're going to now push aside your family for maybe 4 to 8 years in pursuit of this goal that might not happen just so that you can be a better father and husband? Let's actually take time to dig into this a little bit, because maybe there's a better way to go about achieving that goal. So this idea of really getting them to understand the why, what their motivations are, that takes time. It takes a lot of conversation, but when you get there, it's usually the first big kind of aha self-awareness piece for most athletes.
What's funny, Kyle, is that when we ask somebody those questions, and we always lean into all the good things that might happen. Oh, you might make a bunch of money. You might be able to go buy a big new house. You might be able to buy some cars. But nobody ever talks about how you might feel empty, how you might wonder whether your friends like you anymore because you're now in a different wage class. Some might wonder whether you're where your purpose. Nobody ever, because I've been through all of that. Nobody ever talks about the shitty side of, oh, so now you made it? Yeah, but I'm fucking feeling empty like a motherfucker, and I'm lost, and I don't know. So I hear what you're saying, because nobody ever talks about what also could happen on the negative side.
Yeah, I think why that is because we often have this snapshot of what it's going to look like when we achieve the goal. But one of the things that I help athletes to do is I help them to develop the film, the reel of what the actual, what it's going to look like. What's your average day-to-day going to look like? Like right now I'm working with a young golfer. This guy's down in the NCAA and he's playing some really good golf. His goal is to be a tour player. Awesome. I asked him, so what is that day-to-day going to look like? Wow, it's going to be me playing on tour on TV and having lots of fans, and awesome. I said, so how many shitty days a month do you think you're going to have as a pro golfer?
That's an uncomfortable question.
Yeah, like
honestly, because more than not, probably, actually, right?
That's it. Tour average, you're winning 1% of your starts. So that means 99% of your starts you're not winning, and probably half of those you're getting kicked in the ass, and you feel like you want to give up. You're questioning your worth. You're questioning your confidence. You feel like shit. You're running out of money. You need to borrow more money from family. You're on the road. You're traveling away from people, your loved ones, your girlfriend. That's what you're signing up for. That is what you're signing up for. You may as well make sure you know it right now, because if you don't know it, you're going to arrive there, like you said, and you're going to feel like you just wasted the last decade of your life.
It's interesting, Kyle, because John's been on that journey. And so John has been a professional wrestler, professional strongman, professional bodybuilder. And I'm thinking, John, you've had to have those discussions with your own head and Terry, or at the time going, okay, I'm leaving for a number of days, weeks, months. I'm not saying you, the girls, the kids. And you must have gone through moments, John, in that period, like Kyle has said, going, what the fuck am I doing?
Here's the thing, and we talk about this all the time, and Kyle kind of alluded to it already, is that when you make a choice to do something like this, you got to get really fucking in tune with saying no to a lot of shit, to get a lot of shit out of your life so that you could create the time for the shit that's important to you. I didn't have a social life. I didn't do things that most people do. What I did was I worked on my goal, And I focused on my girls. And when I say my girls, that's basically Terry and the three girls. And it was like my time that was available was for them. That was it. So when you clear out all that, you'd be really surprised. You clear out a lot of space in your life if you really have the balls to say no. And when you get good at saying no, just like we say, you're saying yes to what you want. And it's a choice that someone has to make. If going out drinking with your buddies is that important to you, then don't do this.
Oh yeah, John, I just gotta jump in. I just love what you're saying because the reason why most people don't do the things they want to do is because they don't realize that they are constantly trying to navigate competing goals. Like even right now in this moment, right? Like, there's so many goals that are competing in this moment. I want to be doing this with you guys. I also want to be doing work that I probably need to be doing. I also want to be spending time with my wife downstairs. I also want to be maybe going for a walk and getting some. There are so many goals right now that are competing. So you have to realize what goals are in front of you. And then you do have to say yes to one. But by saying yes to one, like John has said, you have to acknowledge that you're saying no to those others. Because if you don't acknowledge that after a month or a year or a few years, you're going to realize that you're in this place where you inadvertently have bypassed these really potentially important things in your life.
Yeah. And on that level, one of the things that's really hard, and I've seen lots of people that have really had a hard time with this, is that you in the beginning, you got to start telling your buddies no. Hey, you want to go drinking? No. Hey, you want to do this? Because that's the life you're leading. Especially when you're young, you're having fun with your boys. And then all of a sudden you say no enough, they stop inviting you to do shit. And no, they still like you. They just know that you say no. And you got to get past that. Because I've seen a lot of dudes where it's like, oh my God, my friends don't like me anymore. No, they do. They're just realizing that when they knock on the door, you don't answer. This is what you picked. So shut up, stop feeling sorry for yourself. Realize this is what you wanted. And you can still connect with them. Just do it differently than you did before.
Marty,
I wanted to add that literally just happened to me right before we got on the show. You know, I saw one of my friends at the gym, and they were like, "Are you going to the such and such Halloween party on Friday?" I was like, "No." They were like, "They didn't tell you about it?" I was like, "No,
nope."
They don't even invite me to that stuff anymore.
That's
you know,
it.
They don't even invite me, so they know I'm not coming.
That's perfect. You know,
I give them about one, maybe two a year, but that's about it.
but I find it interesting though, because Marty's the younger one in the group here. So Marty's 31 here. And there's those peer social pressures though, Marty, that follow. I remember in my 20s in college trying to be dragged, and I went to the clubs and the bars, but deep down I'm like, no, but I want to go to the gym. No, I want to go to bed so I can get up in the morning. And I struggled with that. What I really wanted to do, Marty. That's why I say to you, man, like I applaud your courage as the young man. I wish I had your courage at 31 to do some of the things you're saying no to, because I couldn't. I didn't have that wherewithal at that point. Kyle, I see you nodding there.
Oh my God, yeah. Like I think one of the things that people just don't fully understand is that social evaluation piece.
Yeah.
That is the number one source of stress and anxiety right now in society for everyone. And this is also for athletes. When you break down why they're feeling so anxious, because we are hardwired to care about what people think about us. It goes back tens of thousands of years. Like if we were in a small little tribe, and if we pissed off our tribe and we got exiled, we would likely die. We couldn't survive.
We weren't going to survive.
We have developed this gene. We have developed this mechanism to play nice with the people around us because we feel like it's such an important part of our success. And in fairness, it is. None of us are going to succeed on our own. We need to make sure that the people around us, to some degree, appreciate what we're doing and want us in their lives. So this is a huge source of stress. Now, there's certain things that trigger this, right? There's certain things that make this more prominent. When you think about young athletes, 16, 17, 18-year-old males, females who are constantly on social media, right, engaging with people who they don't even know, this shit is going to amplify that social evaluation. Yeah. When they get to that moment that matters most to them, all of a sudden now they're going to be thinking about the tens of thousands of people who are following them, who they have to report back to in the morning, regardless of how they perform.
Kyle, you're dropping nuggets. Go ahead, Marty.
Hey, John.
Yo.
How much better is life when you don't care what people think about you?
Oh, it's freedom.
It's freedom.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
But you mean you want one of my sayings, Marty?
I thought you were going. I thought you had something for me, man. I'm trying to set you up.
100% throw some of my shit, use some of it. But how's this one? First they watch you, then they hate you, then they imitate you. If
I
they're
like
talking
that one.
smack, you're on the right track. You just, the list goes on, baby. But when it comes down to it, when you stop caring, other than the people you love, you got to care about what they think. Outside of that, not caring about what most people think about you is freedom.
I agree.
What a great conversation we're having with Kyle Paquette, John Anderson, C. Marty Fit, and Mr. Boston. I see you in the comments, or thanks for tuning into the channel there. And I love your comment. Try sailing on the ocean. It becomes clear. Isn't that true? Hey, Paquette, man, listen, we're on last name terms already because I'm a hockey guy. Just like the last name shit, right? Paquette, you got to come back. Dude,
I love to. Yeah, this is awesome.
Absolutely.
You are dropping bombs, and I can't believe that our time is already up because we got the mental dude Minefield, AJ Zeglin hanging out in the green room waiting for us. Marty?
I was gonna say, Kyle, you mentioned the water as soon as you wake up. We talk about that all the time over here. That's what me and John do as soon as we wake up. So when you said that, like you're really speaking our language. So that was great.
I felt like we were separated at birth or something, brother.
True. So Kyle, before you go, brother, because I absolutely want to have you back. Flynn, we got to get Kyle onto a regular rotation here. I think we can have a lot of fun with Kyle on the way because you're dropping nuggets left and right, Kyle. How can folks find you? How can they get a hold of you? How can they connect with you? Where can Business Athlete Nation connect with Kyle Paquette?
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one. It's funny. I'd love to say here's all my social handles, but the truth is I practice what I preach, right? So I try to stay disconnected from that stuff because I try to stay focused on what matters most to me.
Love it.
Yeah, what I say is if people want to connect with me, they can find me online, do a quick little Google search. You'll come up with some of my contacts. And if not, Keith, you have my contact. I'm happy to share that stuff with whoever wants to connect.
Awesome. Kyle Paquette, Olympic coach, Olympic mind coach. Guy's done a lot of great things. Kyle, I'm very grateful for you hanging out with us this morning. You come back and see us again, okay?
Yeah, I love it. I'm grateful too. Thanks so much, guys.
Awesome.
Thank you, Kyle.
And Marty, Johnny, Jory Jansen, the GOAT, introduced us to Kyle. So I'm telling you, Jory's not even here, and she's still dropping nuggets for us.
That's it.
Man, that's the GOAT for real, man.
It's true. It's true.